Dave Mongello here with Blake Lemoy. Okay, this is our first fireside chat. Just met Blake here recently talking about local EMS issues in the city of Lockport, and we're just trying to crunch some numbers. I myself was a volunteer firefighter in South Lockport for I think around 4 years, I think from 2011 to like 2015, I think it was. So I'm familiar with the how the system works. I saw problems in the towns in regards to EMS issues and trying to get people to EMS to people that really need help. And when you hear a call come through the radio and it takes a half an hour to get an ambulance to somebody's house because they're having a heart attack, that's not acceptable, and especially in our advanced what's going on in society. Right. Can't we do better than this? But Blake here, I brought him in. We were looking up some numbers in the city. It was really interesting to find out that it's really the narrative you're hearing is kind of blamed on politics, when in my opinion it's not. So what have you found out so far with the numbers, with the city of Lockport going back to a paid ambulance company from the union firefighters actually running it again?
Well, I can tell that there's a reason why they stopped. That's for sure. I can tell there's a reason why the labor costs, the cost overrun, there was a reason why Lockport no longer could sustain it. And looking at the data with Mercy, it looks like option 2 that I'm looking at, it looks like it's a lot more affordable. I mean, that's what Twin Cities, and I get it. It was a temporary fix.
How much was that?
$100,000, so $8,000 a month.
Yeah.
All in, and we're replacing exactly what we have.
Yeah.
And the other option is for our fire department to take over EMS, and I've been told that it's going to be a profitable system.
Yeah. But
we already know that it's not going to be a profitable system because it was pulled
back in 2014.
Back in 2014.
So 2014, the mayor had to make all these cutbacks, get rid of firefighters, and then got rid of the ambulances because it was losing the city way too much money. Granted, I look into that too. I tried reaching out to the past mayors. Of course, they won't listen, and they had major issues with billing. But even with the shortages in the billing, if they started getting that extra money they should have billed for, it still wasn't enough. So one of the arguments yesterday, I don't know if I'm jumping off topic here, but one of the arguments yesterday is that I said there was no municipal ambulance company in Western New York. And I was quickly proven wrong, but I was kind of had to throw it out there to find out what's out there. I haven't found any, but I did know that Medina did have a paid volunteer fire company / paid. They do both there. And I even reached out to Mayor Roman and Mayor McCaffrey to look into these systems to see how it works, because if you have, and a lot of municipalities do this, paid volunteer
hybrid,
and they save millions of dollars. And I know because I went to these fire companies when I was in Myrtle Beach, OBX, what's that? One place, the beach. I've been to these other areas, even Ohio, where Cedar Point is. They're the same thing. They operated a volunteer / paid system in some of these areas, and it works. So I brought up to Mayor Robin years ago when she first got elected, and she says, "Dave, look into that for me. Let me know what you find." I couldn't find, when I was in Medina, I couldn't find, the fire department was closed. I called, left messages. No one really called me back or nothing. And then yesterday, I found out that Lupo, an ex-paid city firefighter, worked in Medina
as the fire chief of Medina.
As the fire chief, right? That's what he said.
Yeah.
And him and Roman have a really good relationship. So she ran me on a wild goose chase for no reason whatsoever.
Well, and Dave, that's what I'm getting too. So when I moved here from Texas, I went out and reached out to these people too. I'm here to help, to change. I'm data driven. I'm a guy that wants to help with this transformation and make Lockport a little bit more friendly and inviting, right? And this is the exact same thing that I got from Mayor Roman, was thanks, but no thanks. So
you tried to reach out and help. You
I
said,
just tried to help, and my focus is on digital transformation and data. And what I'm finding is this is another similar issue. There's a national issue with lack of EMS, lack of fire. So that is correct. Twin Cities said that. That's correct. They have an employee shortage. but the resolution isn't to have union paid firefighters at a 90 percentile wage that's well over the average with union, with pension, with additional things in a city that can't support it. And that's why the last mayor took it away.
Yeah, in the same, and to prove that point, so this Lupo, who worked in Medina, he came up and said I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong, because there was a paid ambulance. So I admit I'm wrong, but where's the money? So I was like doing this. Okay, how much are you paying the firefighters in Medina? What's, because you can't just blurt out, oh, we're making money, but is it really comparable? No. So he came out and said, what? We pay them a fair wage.
Right, a fair wage.
Yeah.
A fair wage. What is that? $19 an hour?
So
not 25, not 30, not $40
right,
an hour?
Exactly. So
attract and retain, like $19 an hour. Sure, I'll get a bunch of firefighters over here for $19 an hour.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, I said this at the meeting, and we got all sorts of volunteers willing to jump in burning buildings for free. I mean, I said to them all, but the issue is the EMS part of it. Nobody wants to be an EMT because it's a rough job.
And the volunteer fire is declining.
Yes,
I mean,
100%.
But it's declining because of the same national problem.
Yeah.
So we can't resolve this with, unfortunately, high-paid union jobs.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I would love to, but because we're not in a city that has a lot of jobs.
But are they high? Yeah, but are they really high paid? So what we found out is I got hold of somebody that worked in Medina, and they pay their firefighters there $50,000 to $60,000.
Decent wage, livable wage.
I'm not sure about retirement if it's really comparable to that, but that's a big difference in pay. Especially when you have the city firefighters, what they will do is when they retire, their retirement's based off the last 2 or 3 years what they work. So what they do is the guys come up to retirement, they pad their pension by working all this overtime and getting paid $100,000 a year. And so their retirement then reflects their percentage of the overages they're getting. So the city of Lockport, their overtime is way over budgeted. Because not only, what they do is they say, well, we need so many firefighters sitting around just ready for an emergency. Right? Well, and there's these certain standards. What is the FT? What was it called?
1710. I can look it up. There's a national standard for how to staff fire and EMS. And even though it's a national standard, it's a recommendation, and small cities and towns can't keep up with that standard because of this lack of human capital.
So even though Medina, comparison-wise, they keep 5 guys on call, where here we have how many? 10?
Just sitting in a firehouse collecting a wage.
Yeah.
I need this verified, of course.
Yeah, we got to verify.
True?
So it could be almost double. Yeah. Leave a link here. Let us know.
Correct us if I'm wrong, because we can't get the answer from the people that should be giving us answers.
100%.
Oh, we'll call you back.
Yeah. So realistically, we need to do this to save somebody's lives. There was just a call today. There was a stroke, and it took forever to get an ambulance to somebody's house.
Yeah,
and that's uncalled for.
It's uncalled for. We can't have this, but also we can't have a city that's declining in wages, and this was stopped for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was stopped because of overtime, salary, budget overruns.
So what about idea? What about, say, okay, if they want to
let's talk about solutions, right?
Solutions right at the meeting. This is
a work session. So let's talk about solutions, not a bitch fest.
Because when you go to these things, they don't really deliberate there.
No, it's just a complaint form, and then they just shove you on the road and do whatever they want to do.
Oh, they formed a committee, but the committee's full of union people. Is that really biased? Is that unbiased? So how about the city offer to the union firefighters, this current, we'll give you the $100,000 as long as you promise no more overtime. We'll give you $100,000 as long as you promise not to pay firefighters just sitting around, because they can take their gear home no different than a volunteer. And then when they get a call, then pay them to come to the call.
We can do we can do these hybrid systems to where when the need arises, you can pay for that ad hoc. Twin City or Mercy. Twin City already said they will come in as a backup And Mercy said that we'll take it over as a primary.
And just understand this in the public that, oh, we need this many firefighters. Well, guess what? You have volunteers all around the city of Lockport. And when there's a fire, the volunteers get called for backup. And they usually show up because they like fires. You know, they hate EMS, but they show up for fires. The big tire fire out here.
And this is this is two different things. Fire versus an EMS service.
So regards to fire standards, you know, like the ladder truck, we have 2 brand new ladder trucks from surrounding fire that are available to be used. You know, but they're not ours, but they will come. And that's a guarantee. They will come. So they'll throw that out there to say, oh, there's an issue here that there's always support to save lives. But to develop an EMS system to get an ambulance to your house quicker, that's why the towns have issues too. They should start implementing a part paid, part volunteer EMS system, or start paying just if you simply give an EMT $50 a call, $100 a call, they will totally change it and they'll get more people. There's a big lack in community now. And it's understandable because things are getting tough. You got bills to pay. And if a volunteer goes on a call, he's losing a lot of money and time with his family.
Yeah, and it sucks. I mean, what is the right answer? The right answer is live in a city that has tons of jobs and tons of tax money, so these don't exist. But the FTE, the human capital, still exists. Yeah. Whether we're in a small city or a huge city, hiring EMS people is a national shortage. There's national shortages on people. Okay. But the resolution isn't to pay high dollar wages. It's these hybrid solutions, right?
Exactly.
It's these solutions that pay for performance or pay for utilization. We can't sit there and we can't have a hourly wage for doing nothing, collecting a pension. I'm sorry, like I wish. But especially when it's my tax dollars, I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I said this in the meeting. You know, the city paramedics are priceless. They are absolutely priceless. But in the past, they refused to ride in volunteer ambulances because what they were always up on. Oh, you're just a volunteer. You know, they're all the same. You know, it's really sad. And they would only call, like there was a bad fire, they would only call their people in first, then call the volunteers. And by the time the fire can get out of control, that's unacceptable, behavior. You cannot run a business that way. How about, one of the proposals that, hey, we'll give you the ambulance too, and if you're saying it's so profitable, Willie, you keep the money.
Well, so
more or less, okay, go ahead and do it. You're saying it's so profitable. Okay, go ahead. You keep the extra money, but we don't want nothing to do it. So stand behind what you're saying.
So let's play devil's advocate, right? So let's say it is profitable, and it only costs $100,000 to retrofit the 2 ambulances to be compliant. Oh, by the way, that's the total cost of the Mercy contract.
Yeah.
The total. Right. So I don't know how to respond to that one. It seems like the best option is to go with this Mercy contract for now until we get a resolution that shows we're not going to have overtime, we're not going to have budget overruns, we're going to start paying our fire people a regular competitive wage in other cities like Olean, which was named, Jamestown, which was named, and Medina, which was named. Well, we need to look at those plans and see how they're working, what's not working.
Look at the numbers.
Look at the numbers. We got to look at those data and say, if starting wage is X dollar an hour, then that's what we have to offer. If we can't get people, like, there's got to be other options. We can't just allow our fire department to, and this is what happened, and tell me if I'm wrong. Apparently there was 5 people sitting in an ambulance, and there was tons of people sitting in overtime status.
Yeah, allegedly, that's what I hear, but I don't really know if that happened.
Right.
But it's just, there's a lot of pay. And if you're going to
compare, all wages.
If you're going to say the system works somewhere else, okay, let's really compare it. Not just say it.
And it was taken away. And it was taken away for a reason.
Yeah.
And now the temporary contract is over. And now we're in now we have to react. Now we have to respond.
Oh, what about that comptroller report from Medina?
Yeah.
What'd you find about that?
So it looks like The same problem, whether it's Medina or even in California.
So this is in 2014. The
it's
state
wages.
comptroller office investigated the ambulance company in Medina.
And it cost them, what, about $1 million?
Yeah, there was $1 million
of
underfunding that the taxpayers had to pay for.
So
yet
we're in the same situation.
Our mayor and the ex-city fire said that their system works. Well, here's kind of proof that it didn't, because we researched. So it's all smoke and mirrors. It's really disheartening. How about we develop a citizen committee of business people to investigate this? Because on the ambulance
we need
committee
an accountability board.
Yeah, no, there's no board of accountability. And to crunch the numbers. And then if they want to know, then they bring the fire company asking questions, bring other people ask questions, and have an unbiased panel of business people that know numbers to really recommend what will work. But
where's our independent CPA? It cost us $30,000 of taxpayer money to get a report that says it's going to cost us $1 million. It could be this, it could be this, it could be that. It's a non-biased report.
Yeah.
I mean, if as a business consultant, I'm not going to necessarily hang my hat either way, knowing that I want to continue that business relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, well, best case scenario is this and worst case scenario is this. So you make the decision.
Yeah, according to the report, if you want to see it, let us know. We'll send you the report. But if what I'm understanding, it says the most likely scenario, they're going to make $10,000. But in the report, it said that didn't cover $100,000 to $150,000 job for somebody to run the program. So now the most likely scenario is going to be $100,000 in the red, right? The best scenario, they're going to make $500,000. That was the best scenario.
So those numbers were missing labor costs.
Yeah. So then the worst scenario was losing $980,000.
Right. And those numbers were
$1 million.
But those numbers were still lacking labor costs.
Additional labors of what it costs.
It's just operating costs.
Yes, 100%. So there's a reason why the ambulance company moved out, because there's so much welfare and Medicaid that doesn't pay to run an ambulance here in Lockport.
Negotiated rates of a couple $100 instead of a few $1,000s. Private pay versus government pay.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And thanks for coming in and crunching the numbers, but we're trying to study. We need your help. If you know
we need
how to
more
crunch
voices.
numbers.
Yeah, we need more voices.
Yeah,
more eyes on it.
Exactly, because we have these people showing up at these meetings. Oh, do this, and we have this recommend ambulance company saying doing that without laying out the numbers with any guarantee. Yeah. But we're going to throw it out there. Say, okay, how about give it to them and just say, okay, you then, if you're thinking you're going to make all the extra money, go right ahead. Give us to in writing.
Just put it in writing that you guarantee that there will not be any staffing overruns. There will not be massive overtime, because Twin Cities already said they will act as a backup. So there's no reason to pay our firefighters and EMS overtime, because they will come in and still do the service for us. They just need that additional primary help. So hopefully we've learned from our mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully.
And then if the system works, you say if the ambulance made $1 million, guess what? Divide that amongst you two. Right?
Hey, might reduce my taxes.
It's keep it yourself. You're saying it's going to work, stand behind what you're saying.
But like you said, Dave, we need more voices. We need more eyes on it. We need more concerned citizens. We need active business owners. We need active residents to come and participate. Government is for the people. And if the people don't come out there and participate, then we just get told what to do.
Yeah. So at the end, where this video is, there's under information, there's a phone number there. You text that number, Wake Up NY, with no spaces, and you'll be put on our communication link so we can actually let you know what's going on. And if you got any questions, you can reach out to me. My shop number here is 716-625-6125. We need your help, your information, your investigation, because the only way we can help the community is by you taking part.
I want to know. Yeah. I'm not from this area. I've lived here now for a total of 12 years. I'm a resident. I'm a tax-paying, home-owning resident that has 2 kids in this community. I care. You guys can find me. You can look up Blake Lemoy, BlakeLemoy.com. You can look up anything. You can find my phone number, 716-250-9912. I want to help, and I want the voices to be heard. I'm just frustrated.
Yeah,
I'm
so am I.
frustrated
It's
because
just-
I don't know what the right answer is. I don't want to be in a situation that I need an ambulance and it take 30 minutes and die of a heart attack.
Yeah,
and I get
100%.
it, but I also don't want to pay $5,000-$10,000 in taxes for dysfunctional services.
Yes. So it's the point. We have, the city has the ability of paramedics that can be used all around us in the towns to help save your life in the town, but yet that plan hasn't been looked into. And we need to look into it. We need your support, your
Hybrid.
help. Communicate here. Reach out to us. We need help. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll keep you updated. Thanks.
Thank you.